We did the bulk of writing and recording it actually last summer.
Mhm.
So this is like coming up on a year now since we actually wrote and recorded everything, and now it's all out. Um, and it was an interesting one because like the first two EPs we wrote completely in lockdown, like, the world was still pretty closed. Even when our second EP came out, everything, we weren't touring or anything like that. And then these next two EPs, we were on the road. And so the writing and recording process was kind of in bursts
Mhm.
because we would do it in between tours and stuff.
Mhm.
So I think that you can hear how eclectic the EP is because we kept getting inspired. Like, I feel like every time we go on tour, we're inspired by the bands that we're playing with, and we're inspired by the travel and just the life experiences. And the long drives in the van are like a great environment for reflection and overthinking at times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that like you can maybe hear the journey, and it was like little bits and pieces of that year essentially. And we just really wanted to make something different from what we'd already done, but still keep ourselves consistent, like our art style. And I think the key to that was really just not overthinking about like what do people expect to hear. It was more just about what do we feel we need to write right now, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So you don't get like thrown off like kind of having your process intertwined with touring and like constantly getting pulled away from the writing to hit the road. Like you kind of thrive in that and prefer that to just like hunkering down to write.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd say we prefer it. It's
Mhm.
just kind of been our environment, and I'm grateful for it because I do love both environments. Like, I really love kind of holding ourselves away and being creative and really focusing on the art. But I also need to travel, and I need those touring experiences. And I feel like if I'm too long in one place, I get a little stagnant, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it is a balance. We honestly, it is really cool to compare the first two EPs to the last two EPs, because the first two we were like just straight up just focused on writing every single day and
Yeah.
recording every single day, because that was our world, we couldn't really go outside and be around friends or like go on tour or anything.
Mhm.
So sometimes I actually look back on those times fondly, and I kind of miss it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
um but it also was the beginning of the band, so it was just an exciting time in general. And I do think there's something to be said for touring and like having life experiences while you're creating an album, because it keeps things fresh and you never really know what's going to come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, you use the touring as like some of the inspiration while you're writing. Now, do you write on the road, or do you just kind of save all that inspiration and then let it out once you're back home?
It's certainly easier to write at home because
Mhm.
there's just less distractions, and I personally like to sort of recluse myself when I'm writing and just be alone,
Mhm.
or with Phoenix. But I don't really like writing around other people that much. However, I've written a lot of lyrics on the road, or like I said, inspiration from watching some of the bands that we've performed with. It's like you can't help it. When it hits, it hits. So if you're on tour when that happens, so be it. We
Mhm.
wrote like some of our new stuff that's unreleased on our Australian tour that we just did, and it's kind of interesting to see how that different environment maybe influenced our sound.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you not like to write on tour because you're around other people? Is it more of a judgment anxiety thing, or is it more of a focus thing?
Oh my gosh. I think it's a like I think it's both, honestly. Yeah. It's like hard to tune out things like, and we're not like a big band or anything, so we don't have like green rooms that are like we're
Yeah.
often sharing green rooms, we're often sharing hotel rooms, and then we're in the van together. So there really isn't a lot of solitude on tour. I feel like the most solitude you get is like in the shower or
Yeah.
when you're walking, like maybe I'll go for find a coffee spot somewhere before the show. But that's okay. I love the people that I tour with. I just want to make sure that that is known. Like I love my band and I love our crew and stuff, but I just feel that maybe I'm not as vulnerable when I'm especially lyrics. Like I can write riffs and stuff around other people, but it's just the lyricism. I need to be kind of like honest with myself. And if I feel observed, I find that kind of hard.
I don't blame
Absolutely
you.
understandable.